Hello my fellow plant maniacs, I am Andrei Nitsu. Today I would like to show you 6 propagation techniques and we will discuss them while we go together to a live demonstration. Today's video is not only about the propagation techniques, but it also represents a very interesting experiment to see what kind of offsets can we get when propagating a mutated form of Haworthia using different techniques. Because yes, there are also mutated forms of this plant, and you will see how interesting they can be. This demonstration will be done on a beautiful Haworthia atrofusca mutant, but before going to the propagation techniques, please let me tell you a few crazy things about this utterly beautiful but weird plant. This hybrid is appreciated for these pointy leaves with large transparent windows, where light can go through and creating this wonderful appearance of being illuminated. It has those so-called veins going straight and along the windows. Such a beautiful leaf shape. Few weird things about this plant are the flowers, which you can see in this image. Thank you, Lucas, for allowing me to use your photos. And these are suffering from a physical distortion and are not fertile, therefore cannot produce seeds. And this is how the flower looks in comparison with a normal Haworthia flower. Thank you, Enrico, for sending me these photos and allowing me to use them. As you can see, the differences are quite obvious. Another weird and interesting aspect is the ability to create split heads emerging from the stem, which is the trunk, the core of the plant, or the base if you like so. It can form multiple heads and grow in size, forming a spherical shape. Heads can be separated, and this is one way to multiply this plant. In terms of offsets obtained from these cuttings, this is also a weird and interesting aspect of this plant, because technically the offsets will actually revert to normal shape of the original plant. Isn't that crazy? Although the genes are the same with the mutated mother plant, the offsets will lose the mutation and will become normal, including flowering as normal and regaining the ability to produce seeds. But against all odds, in our experiment, we will try to obtain mutated offsets. Later, I will come back with a video showing the results when the offsets are produced. Meanwhile, you can follow my Facebook page, The Majestic Roots, to stay updated with the evolution of this experiment. This would also help me in return, and I will be very grateful if you could do so.
Thank you!
Right, let's get to business. Let's see what are the different ways to take cuttings and how can we do so maximizing the efficiency to produce offsets. What I will use today are the following tools. Dental floss, make sure it has no flavors. A spatula, I am using a custom-made one with sharp edges, but you can use any tool that you think it can fit the purpose. And a pair of hands. We will cover the following methods. Taking head off with dental floss, using just our hands to break the leaves, using the spatula and our hands to loose the leaves, cutting leaves with a spatula, cutting leaves with the dental floss, taking root cuttings, a method used for propagating truncata and mogani. Technically, this method will not work for the rosette type of Haworthias, but since this is a mutated form, we will try that anyway, because with a mutated, you never know what you get. Let's start with the first method, cutting the stem with dental floss. First of all, check as good as you can that no unwanted objects are in between the leaves, so that no damage occurs when making the cutting. A sharp rock can cause damage, for example, when applying this method. Grab a decent length of dental floss, don't be greedy, better more than less. Using the middle of the floss string, you want to carefully wrap the floss around the base of the plant, trying to leave one row of leaves under the floss so those leaves can remain on the stem after we take the cutting. Make sure to slide the floss as close as possible to the stem. Gently pull the end of the string until the floss feels tight around the stem. This will help not to damage the leaves when making the cutting. Once the floss is tight around the stem, pull slowly but firmly all the way to section the entire base.
Voila!
We can now take further leaf cuttings by going to the second method. using just our hands. For this you need to be very gentle and try to feel the leaf as it breaks from the stem. Pull gently from left to right, aiming to break loose the corners of the leaves without breaking the actual leaf. For this method you might need some practice in order to make healthy cuttings, meaning that you might ruin few leaves until you get, the move. And even so, I think this is a risky method as some Haworthias will not break from the stem easily, and if the leaves are plumped with water, this will make them easy to split while trying to break the leaf from the stem. When taking leaf cuttings, you don't want to damage this edge, because this is where the roots and the offsets will shoot. Without this edge, the leaf will not produce offsets and unfortunately you can throw it away. Let's check the next method where the same principle applies, but we're gonna use a spatula to help loosen the leaf before pulling it by hand. Carefully slide the tip of the spatula under the corner of the leaf, breaking it loose. Do the same for the other corner. And slightly pull the leaf by hand, gently moving from left to right. And this is a much safer way to collect cuttings. Moving to the fourth method, using a spatula to section the stem at the base of the leaf. I use the curved spatula, sharpen on the edges, and again you want to be gentle and careful, especially if you are using a sharp spatula like I do. This thing is very sharp and you don't want it to slide in the wrong direction, damaging the plant, or worse, sliding towards your hand, maybe causing an accident. So remember, stay focused and be very patient. Slide the spatula between the leaf and the base. To stay safe and take a clean cut, use very short movements from side to side and use just a little bit of pressure to let the spatula slowly cut through the stem. This is a very efficient way to take cuttings because you have a better control over the odds of getting enough sprouting material when collecting the leaf. Remember, you want the leaf to hold some stem at the baseline. Let's go to our fifth method, taking leaf cuttings using dental floss. This is probably the easiest way to collect leaves and maintain efficiency in collecting healthy cuttings. Simply slide the floss at the base of the leaf and pull both ends of the string at the same time. Isn't this great? Easy peasy. And here we are at the last method, the sixth method, taking root cuttings. As I mentioned before, generally speaking, this method is valid only for truncata and mugani forms. However, with a mutated plant like Atrofusca, you never know if you never try, and this is also a good opportunity to show you how you can take root cuttings. The exact same method can be applied for any truncata or mahogany, in case you want to give it a try. And here is a photo with a mahogany root offset. Once selected, gently pull the root down while twisting and slightly tilting the root until it breaks loose. Again, you want the end of the root to be intact for best chances to offset. If the root breaks from the wrong place, this won't be viable. But remember, generally speaking, rosette types will not shoot offsets from root cuttings, so keep that in mind. Bigger roots have more chances to sprout offsets, so consider this when selecting the roots that you want to propagate. As you can see, dear friends, these are 6 ways to take cuttings. Which one you prefer? Or maybe you have a different method? Let me know in the comment section below, or leave a comment if you have any question and I will try to answer all. Subscribe to stay tuned for future videos. Thank you for watching this video. Till next time, grow baby grow!